Have you ever heard the saying, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery? There's some truth to that, isn't there? When we're young, we try to act like the people that we look up to because we admire them. As we get older, that imitation becomes less about play acting and more about behavior modification. And so, we try to become more like that person, not by pretending to be them, but by actually attempting to change ourselves to be more like them. When we're striving after virtues and healthy goals, this can actually be a great thing. You see, we see in these people what we hope to one day see in ourselves, and that motivates us to make positive change. Of course, this imitation game isn't always a good thing. It all depends on the people we choose to imitate. For example, certain celebrities may not be the best choice of person to model our behavior after. These are also many other pop culture influences whose opinions we readily adopt because we're fans of the person even more than their ideas. And many of us, I'm sure, have had to decide whether to maintain a friendship with someone once we've come to realize that that person might not be the best influence on us. We tend to follow these people, even when it fails to make us a better person, because we want to experience the world in the way that they do, or in the way we think they do. We want to get a taste of the power and the influence and the fame that they have. One day, we want to become someone that other people want to imitate, because deep down, we love and long to be seen and recognized. But more than anyone else, more than any other celebrity or athlete or guru, the one whom we should most be striving to imitate is Jesus Christ. Now, you don't have to act surprised. I know that you saw that coming. I'm the priest. I'm supposed to say that. But this is an important part of what it means to be a Christian. So just for the next few weeks, I'm asking you to stick with me while I break this down in our new message series, Be Like, where we will be talking about how we are made to be like Christ, to reflect and imitate him to the world around us, and how we can practically do that in our lives. To help us dive into this message, we're going to take a look at St. Paul's letter to the people in Ephesus. It was our second reading today, and it starts like this. Brothers and sisters, I, the prisoner in the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called. Now that's pretty interesting. Why does Paul call himself the prisoner in the Lord? Well, interestingly, at this point in time, Paul was actually physically in jail. He was put there for preaching the gospel. So by using this phrase, he's simply saying that even though he's a prisoner, he's still trying to do that for God's glory. And he encourages us to do the same with the second part of the verse. I beg you to lead a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called. Now, Paul goes on in the rest of this reading to give us various ways to lead a worthy life. He says, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, making every effort to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. All of these are great suggestions and beautiful things to strive for. But if we are to make every effort to do these things, then we should know what that calling is. We should know what it is that we're striving to do. We need to know the point of what we're doing for it to truly make an impact. Now, we could go on and talk about our individual call to holiness, but we just spent 6 weeks talking about that in our last series. And by the way, if you missed any part of that, simply check out our website, stalphonsus.net, and click on Messages. Shameless plug, I know. But today I'm going to take a different angle with it, and it all starts with the word worthy. The definition of the word worthy, according to my dear friend Google, is deserving effort, attention, or respect. We say something is worth our time if we feel that it's important to ponder over. We try to donate to worthy causes so that we know that our money is going toward something good. We tend to appreciate trustworthy friends because they've proven their loyalty to us. And St. Paul encourages us to lead a life worthy of the calling to which we have been called. Friends, think about it. You aren't supposed to just drift through life unnoticed. Your life is supposed to attract attention and respect and recognition, and not for its own sake, but for the sake of the calling. But the calling to what? The calling to mission. The call to bring Christ to the world. Jesus was constantly talking about it. In fact, the very last words he said to his apostles on earth were, "Go and make disciples." Jesus was all about hammering home this idea of mission because that is our call. And so St. Paul says in this verse that we need to do our best to honor Jesus' wishes and to live out that call. So how do we do that? How do we live out that call? Well, St. Paul gives us all these pointers, the little virtues and actions that we need to do. And through them all, we're trying to bring Christ to the world by being Christ in the world. Not in some weird way where we act like we're God. No, we're meant to imitate God. When people look at us and see how we're living a life that is different from the way people normally live, we're not pointing to ourselves. When people notice or admire our virtues or our accomplishments, we need to be able to say, "You think that of me? Well, wait until you meet my inspiration, Jesus." We imitate Jesus not by making ourselves look better, but to make Jesus easier to see in our world. And let's face it, we're looking for him. It takes humility to understand the true focus of things, because it's really not about you. And it's really not about me as much as I'd like it to be. It's about him. I know some of you might be thinking, but that's insane. How am I supposed to be this almighty and perfect God or be like him? It's impossible. I'm weak. I'm just me. Well, no, it's not. Listen to what St. Paul has to say about it. You are called to the one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in all. The one hope we have, the one little thing that makes this tremendous mission possible is God. God himself will make it possible for you to imitate him. In fact, he's doing that right now. Because it says not only is he above you, but he is working through you. And even more than that, not only is he working through you, but he is already in you. The one you're trying to imitate, he's already there inside of you. Your job is essentially to let him shine through you and into the world. You got to let him shine through you. And that, St. Paul reminds us, is our one hope of fulfilling the mission. And it's something that we need to make every effort to do. Friends, Jesus was not lazy. Jesus did not redeem humanity by sitting on the beach and drinking mojitos for 33 years. He rolled up his sleeves and he got to work. By the way, I like mojitos. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy some relaxation, particularly as summer is in full swing. And we all love summer, at least I do. But I am saying that if we want to be like him, we're going to have to do the same things that he did. When Jesus saw a need, he did what it takes to address it. As we walk through this series, we'll talk more about ways to do that, ways to shift our mindset and our lifestyle and our hearts to make Jesus more evident in our world and to be more like him. But for now, for today, I want you simply to commit or to recommit to Christ's mission. It's not going to be easy to be like God, but I promise you, it's worth it. May God bless you.